Hello everyone, hope you're having a great March thus far. I'm out here in Lake Johnson in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I've been home from London for 2 months, doing great here. I'm actually halfway through the support raising process. I've had great conversations and God has shown up and blessed me in many ways. And going forward, these videos are going to be about London, when I'm actually in London, and about the process to preparing to go back to London. But actually today is not about London. Today is about another ministry opportunity that I've been given in Europe. So in March 28th to April 4th, I am going to be in Warsaw, Poland on a humanitarian aid trip to work alongside an organization called Send Relief. We're going to be going and meeting with various refugee centers, providing physical needs and having conversations with people who have fled the crisis in Ukraine. And the opportunity came out of the blue, and I've been totally just blown away by the fact that I actually get to do this, that God has opened up a door for me to actually get to do this. So as I prepare to go, there have been a couple things on the forefront of my mind that I'd like to share with you all. And I'd also like to share a couple of ways that you can be praying for me, how you can be involved with this as I go over in just a couple of weeks. So I was thinking, should the focus of me going over with this team of people, should it simply be about meeting the physical needs of refugees, people who have fled a war, people whose homes are getting torn apart? Well, yeah, that's part of it. James 1 verse 27 says, religion that is pure and undefiled before God the Father is this, to visit orphans and widows in their affliction. And this verse isn't just talking about helping orphans and widows. This is talking about helping people who are vulnerable, people who are downcast, people who are suffering, people who have been displaced from their homes. It's talking about giving a helping hand and meeting the needs of them. And that's something that we should pursue as Christians. Yes, clearly, Christians should urgently and passionately provide the physical needs of people who are suffering or who are displaced. And we should have compassion for people in these categories. And this isn't just like, you go on a 1-week trip and then you kind of check it off your list. Hey, I've helped some people. No, it should be something that we pursue in an ongoing way. It's something that I actually struggled to even have a heart for at times. But I think God has over time has been trying to create a heart of compassion for people in this area a little bit more. But see, humanitarian aid that only involves providing for physical needs is simply incomplete. See, we end up missing out on providing the greatest need for people. We end up not actually giving them what they most need, which is a reconciled relationship with God. Jesus says in the Gospel of Matthew, "For what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world, and if he forfeits his soul? Or what shall a man give in return for his soul?" In the long run, what does it profit the refugees of Ukraine if all their physical needs are met? They're given houses, they're given stable jobs, yet they're never given the opportunity to hear about the love of God. They're never given an opportunity to escape eternal separation from Him. Yes, temporal suffering is horrific. Their suffering is horrific. But what is far more horrific is eternal suffering. Humanitarian aid must involve gospel proclamation. So my time in Poland is short. But would you pray these things for me? First off, would you pray that I would have a zealous heart of compassion as I serve and as I have conversations with the people who have fled the crisis in Ukraine? But would you also pray that God would open up doors for me to have conversations with people about the gospel, about His love for them? And would you pray that people would accept Christ, that in the midst of this horrific thing that's going on in their lives, that God would actually bring about good, the most needed good in their lives, because that's the kind of God who we serve. And like I've said before, your prayers are so needed. They catalyze real life outcomes. So like never before, I would ask for you to pray for me as I head over to Poland in just a couple weeks. Again, I am so grateful for all of you, thankful for you being in this with me, and I look forward to updating you on my time in Poland. We'll chat soon. Thanks.